Welcome to the Harrington Athletics Village on the campus of Boston College in Brighton, Massachusetts. It's a baseball night in Boston like no other. Not only are we gathering virtually for the first time, but we're showcasing the new Pete Frates Center, a beautiful new state-of-the-art facility that matches its namesake in its commitment to excellence. The Boston College baseball program welcomes you to the 2021 Baseball Night in Boston. Good evening, I'm Steve Buckley, and welcome to and I love saying this, the Pete Frates Center on the campus of Boston College for a baseball night in Boston 2021. Normally we'd be at Fenway Park, but what are you going to do? Lots in store for you tonight. Here's what's in store. Our featured guest is a National Baseball Hall of Famer, former Boston Braves starter and closer John Smoltz. The Frates family is here seeing this magnificent building for the first time. We'll catch up with them. A few of the Eagles players will show us their new home. And of course, we'll talk some hardcore baseball, a preview of the 2021 Boston College season. I'm joined now by Mike Gambino, the head baseball coach at Boston College. And you go back to the good old days, back in the, 18th century. You played at Shea Field, and a lot of shoveling and so forth, and picking out little pieces of glass out of the parking lot and so forth. Why are we here tonight? What's this all about?
Well, it's funny too, and the funny thing is our fifth-year seniors played on Shea Field. That's how quickly
We talked about that downstairs.
That's how quickly this thing happened. So over the last couple of weeks and months since we moved in here, they're just talking about what a different program and what a different experience this is because of this. And what I think people need to realize is this building, the Harrington Athletics Village, moving off of Shea Field to playing here to coming to this building, it's because of the support of all of our alumni, all of the people, all the donors, all the people who have cared so much about this program, showing up at baseball night every year, helping continue the slow build, which we knew we were going to get here. So it's because of a night like tonight and the support that
So why
everybody
are we here
shows.
tonight? Why tonight? What's the big deal tonight?
Well, to have the Frates family see this building here for the first time is amazing. We're excited about that. But also what Baseball Night does is it funds our operation, right? And the funds raised every year help fund this program. And then especially in a COVID year, this is going to be a more expensive year. Everybody knows and understands that. So to give these guys a chance to go play in Omaha, which I believe this team has a chance to do, this night's critical.
So I had the good fortune of meeting Pete Frates before he was diagnosed at the Inter-City League banquet one night. It was a chance encounter. I just happened to be sitting next to him. We talked for 5 minutes. And then when he was diagnosed and I met him a second time, I was like, oh, you're the guy I met at the Inter-City League banquet. You obviously knew him a lot better. Tell us about Pete and his impact in this program.
Yeah, to come to work every day and to have these boys come to work every day in this building, Pete was the epitome of who we want to be, both as Boston College baseball players, but as a university, he was a living embodiment of men and women for others. He cared about the team, he cared about everybody else. He was a great leader, but it was always about the cause. So as a teammate, it was about helping his teammates get better and helping the team win. When he got sick, he had a new team, and the team was striking out ALS. And that was his mission, and it's still all of our mission today.
I've talked with John and Nancy about this often, and it still amazes me that when he was diagnosed, he sat his family down and he talked about an ALS diagnosis as an opportunity. And does anything speak better to Pete than that he would channel his energies into turning this into a good thing?
It's amazing.
Big picture.
He had the big picture, and he told us all what was going to happen. He told us all what we were going to do. We didn't know how we were going to get there, but we all followed.
It's time now to remember the life of Pete Frates by any measure. It was a life well lived.
My name is Pete Frates. I'm 27, and I was recently diagnosed with ALS.
Frates?
When you're around Pete, he held everybody accountable to a tremendously high standard. It was always about the team. It was never about him. It was about winning. It was about the goals and the missions of the team. And then it was about taking care of his teammates. And that's what drew people to him. That's what made him a great leader here. And then when he got sick, it was the same idea. He just had a new team. It was about, the new mission was that it's unacceptable that in 75 years since Lou Gehrig, we haven't made any strides to end this disease. There was still no known cure and no known cause. So those same qualities that made him a great leader as a player, now when he gave us all the new directive, raise funds, raise awareness, that's why so many people followed. And that's why there will be an end to this disease, and we're getting closer and closer. And when this disease ends, like it will be directly linked to Pete and the freight train.
There's no denying the incredible impact Pete had during his lifetime, and now part of his legacy lives here at Harrington Athletics Village. The Pete Frates Center took 18 months to build, and thanks to the generosity of the donors, it now stands as a state-of-the-art baseball, softball training center, bearing the name of a man who has always been the heart of the program. It was a little more than an hour ago that Pete's family entered the new facility for the first time. And with us now, very good friends of Boston College, John and Nancy Frates, and put it into words. What's it like being inside this building for the first time, I might add?
Me first? I would say the word that's coming to mind is surreal. It was a dream when we were here back in the 70s that we would be remembered for being here, of course, when you have a beloved alma mater. And then when Pete came, how much he lived and breathed Boston College. He just loved it, and baseball it took everything that he loved about Boston College and just made it bigger. So to be here in the Pete Frates Center on the campus of Boston College is, it's just surreal.
And Mike would tell me about this concept, this dream that he had. And we're at a place like Chapel Hill, where they have a mausoleum, and we had a parking garage. And I'm saying to myself, Mike, whatever you're on, I need some of that too, because this is unfathomable that this has become a reality.
Oh, there he is.
Aww. It's a great picture. I love that picture.
I mean, this is incredible. It's so bittersweet walking in here because I'm so proud of what Mike's done and for the team to have this, but I really wish Pete could have seen this because he really would have been just blown away. It's exceeded, everything we had pictured.
The impact that he'll have on them is, you want to be a really good baseball player, but more importantly, you want to be the best teammate you can be. You want to be the best person you can be. You want to live to all the virtues that Boston College stands for. And that, to him, would be the pinnacle. And that's what this place represents, and that's what this place is going to do for his legacy.
It truly embodies what he is all about, and it's building relationships with his teammates and his friends. And I think this building just embodies all of that and really cultivates that culture of relationships and work hard, play hard, and that's really Pete to a T.
Yep. I think he would be really pleased about that being the message that the boys come in from a game from and leave to go to a game from.
Oh my God. Look at that. That's him. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
was
right.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, he's ready. He's going deep on that one. That's beautiful.
Look how handsome he is. Oh boy. Wow.
That encapsulates the whole thing right there. Wow. Oh my God, this is like a football locker room.
Oh my God, I get goosebumps. Pete's here.
Yeah.
I get feel him.
This is,
Look at
no,
this.
the patch.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I just noticed that. This is
It's
everything.
all that and more, Pete.
Look what he accomplished. It was all effort, hard work, dedication, and as you said, purposeful. And everything, although he didn't get to the major leagues, which was his ultimate, look at what he represents,
It's so
and
much
this
more.
program will represent
It's
going
so
forward.
much more. It's as he would say, I was given this for a reason, and you know, and look what he did in the world of ALS. But look at this beautiful monument.
But this is a lasting tribute, a lasting legacy. This is an edifice, a structure. We saw it being built, but now to see it being finished, it's going to last a lifetime,
and the fact
100
that
years.
we're
Yeah,
alma mater.
right.
It's our
Yeah,
alma
I know.
mater too. It's just it's overwhelming.
Hi, I'm Matt Conway. I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Facilities and Operations here at Boston College, and also the Program Administrator for Baseball. I want to welcome you here to the new home of Bird Ball and Boston College Baseball, the Pete Frates Center. The building is tremendous. What I love about it the most is it is 100% about player development and in turning our student athletes into the best possible Boston College baseball player they can possibly be. We spent hours designing this facility to be all about making our student athletes better. The facility's 30,000 square feet dedicated to baseball and softball so that they can come in here at all hours of the day, work on their game, and become better. I stand here in the hitting facility where we've got 7 full indoor cages. My, how far we have come from the days of being underneath the garage ramp, watching water rain down upon us, to this beautiful facility that our guys can come at 6 o'clock in the morning, they can come at 11 o'clock at night, in here, hit baseballs, work on their game. It is a tremendous space for them to get better. It's got locker rooms, it's got student athlete lounges, a beautiful function space that oversees the field. It puts us on par from a player development standpoint with any team in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I want to thank all of you for your support, because we could not be here without the Boston College alumni and without all of you as baseball alumni. You guys deserve this as much as anybody for all those years we had on Shea Field. I want to invite all of you back here when this pandemic is over to take in a game and tour the facility with us. Thanks again for your support.
Walking into the Pete Frates Center, I was honored. We don't get to come in here without the people who came before us, and especially without Pete Frates. So I felt very lucky and very honored to walk in the facility.
Just kind of feel Pete watching down on us right now. I know how much this building meant to him and how much it means to his family. So to finally get in here and just know that when we come through the doors every day, we're playing for him and always having him on our minds is really special.
I'm a 5th-year senior here, so started off in Conti and on Shea Field, and coming up to see this field and this facility is fabulous, and it's truly special. So it was definitely an overwhelming experience, and I think everyone's very, very excited about what's to come.
One can only imagine what it's like to be a college baseball player here at Boston College and experience the kind of facility that is very rare in baseball and colleges, very, very, very rare in New England baseball in the Northeast. This is a very exciting. Speaking of very exciting, that's my segue.
I love it.
This is Pat Kraft, is it 7 months now you've been athletic director of Boston
It does seem to
College?
be, yeah, I think it's 7 months now.
Before I get to the baseball program in general, you've obviously go on lots of junkets and meetings and conferences around the country. You've seen a lot of campuses. I'm overwhelmed by this, but I'm also a Northeasterner. I'm from this area, and I'm not accustomed to seeing baseball facilities at the college level of this magnitude. So where does this compare in this neck of the baseball woods or where else you've been?
Well, I don't care where you look at it. At the end of the day, it has everything we need. This is a spectacular facility. I don't care if you put this in the South, the West. I don't care where you put it. I think, all the credit to Father, our donors, especially, John Harrington and the Yawkey Foundation and helping get this done. But, all of the facilities that have been built are unbelievable, and they are right on top and on par with everybody in the country. It's not a Northeast thing. It's not, it's good for this part. No, they are fantastic. And it's what we deserve. I will give Mike Gambino all the credit in the world. I've heard, I was talking to a former baseball player earlier today, and what they used to have to play in. And and you look at this, this is what it's supposed to look like.
What does this do to the softball and baseball programs in terms of uplifting them?
It gives us a chance, and it gives Mike and Amy the ability to go and recruit, continue to recruit high caliber student athletes. But it gives us the opportunity to do the things we need to do, right? Like they don't have to wait. We don't have to wait in the training room to get ice. They can go right here and get it done. Everything is compact in a building, and it's, it's spectacular. It's gorgeous, and I think it's going to pay dividends. Now, what we do with it, right? And we need everybody's support. I'm just going to say that, this is just a piece. But in order to get to where we want to go, Mike, Amy, myself, the players, we need everybody to be a part of it. And that's across the board at Boston College. And I would encourage the alums, the fans and supporters to continue to stick with us. And this is a major part, but this isn't the last step. And we've got to continue that momentum that's happening. And I'm very much excited for the spring to let it go and get after it a little bit here. And so this is it's a wonderful thing.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I teased it already. Let's go now to Sciambi, a big booster of the BC program.
Hi, folks. So great to be back here this year with all of you, even in this kind of reimagined way. The support of this event and the baseball program at BC continues to blow me away. Seeing the finished Pete Frates Center this evening, truly special. What an awesome way to honor an even better person. But we're not going to stop there. We need to keep giving these hardworking young men exactly what they deserve. State-of-the-art equipment to fill this new facility, the opportunity to travel more to compete against the best teams, and then, of course, nutrition. So crucial for refueling these young guys when they are playing against the best competition out there. Now, I know there are gaps in the fundraising goals for the program this year, costs around travel, and they need our help to close out these gaps. So here we go. I know we don't have any auction items this year, but there is an opportunity to support the program, and I'm going to start. You may remember the meal sponsorship we started last year. It was a huge success, raised over $10,000 for the baseball program. We can do even better this year. We can. So everyone, take out your cell phone. You should have just received a text message with a dedicated link to donate to the baseball program. So check out your phone. I'm going to start by donating $500, and obviously they need as much help as possible. With the need to bubble while on the road this year, the team is looking at over $100 per player per day to feed them while on road trips. You can do the math. COVID has exponentially grown the cost for team travel. Now, anything you're willing to give shows Mike and his players how committed we all are to seeing them succeed. The link is going to be live through the weekend, so I hope you'll join me in giving the program the extra boost it deserves. Now, I know you didn't just tune in to hear me. I'll be back later with our featured guest tonight, Hall of Famer John Smoltz. But first, we'll take a look at some cool technology that's helping our players. Thanks to your support, it's called HitTrax.
My name is John Murphy. I'm one of the assistant baseball coaches here with the Boston College baseball staff. Today we're going to talk about HitTrax, our new offensive player development system. HitTrax gives all the guys real-time feedback on their swing mechanics, gives them real-time feedback on where they're hitting the baseball, how hard they're hitting the baseball, and we get video analysis as well. It gives us a really, really good spot for us to keep all of our video, all of our data, and everything, and it gives the guys some good entertainment to hit on as well.
Whoa, I'm off.
So we're working on the inside fastball with Dante here. You can see on the video replay, he does a really good job of getting into a strong position to hit, getting his hands back and being really balanced throughout the swing. You can see his exit velo almost hitting 100 there. The 10 degrees here is the angle of his bat through the hitting zone. You can see the numbers show how well he's doing hitting those inside pitches.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
So Sal hitting here is getting real-time feedback on how far he is hitting the baseball based off the angle of his bat through the hitting zone and how hard he made contact. We're getting real-time video as well for coaching purposes, and we're getting the strike zone so the hitter knows exactly what type of pitches they are swinging at. Thank you guys for watching this segment. Hope you guys enjoyed everything we shared with you, and now over to Trez to show you another way on how we use data as well.
Hi, I'm Alex Trezza, Associate Head Baseball Coach here at Boston College.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael Marzoni. I'm a right-handed pitcher here at BC, fifth-year senior from Greenwich, Connecticut.
I'm Brian Dempsey. I'm a graduate senior, shortstop from Bethesda, Maryland.
And we are standing in the Father Murphy Baseball Lounge in our new facility, the Frates Center. We use technology to help with our guys on a daily basis and to get them better in the development process. Certainly all throughout the year, but definitely in the season as well. In the past, we would have to send out different things on our baseball drive for guys to look at scouting reports, and being able to utilize this space in a group setting with our players is going to help us moving forward and help our guys develop at a faster rate. I'm going to give you an example of some of the stuff that we do for scouting reports. This system that we're looking at right here is called Synergy. This catalogs and breaks down some of the video from the games that we play during the year. And we're able to send this information out to our players to help them prepare for upcoming series. Now with the use of our new baseball lounge, we're able to sit with our players and go over this information. So an example of this is to get our pitchers ready for an upcoming series. We look at some of the stuff that we need to prepare our guys. So this is one of the hitters at Florida State, and we're watching how other pitchers attacked him throughout the year. And our guys, again, in the past, this would be sent to them, but now we're able to do it in a group setting, which I think is going to help our guys a lot throughout the year. And this is one example. Another example is using our actual scouting reports to build a plan for the upcoming series. So to be able to do this in person now, I think is going to really give us a huge advantage moving forward. I have some of our guys here, Michael Marzoni and Brian Dempsey here. Guys, tell me what you think this space will help us do with our scouting reports and video moving forward to get ready for the season.
Yeah, so as a pitcher, I mean, it's obviously very important to build a strategy going into a series. So being able to have this lounge as a space to kind of communicate with the pitching staff, with Trez, going over data like this is obviously very valuable. Obviously in the past we didn't have a space like this, so it was tough to kind of build a strategy on your own using your own phone or tablet or something like that, but having this space to actually have a discussion about a strategy going into a series is really important and very, very valuable. So it'll help, you know, pitchers develop once they're here, and not only get players better, but the team better as a whole. So having this space is obviously very special and will help the program tremendously.
I think the biggest point for me is a lot of guys in the past have been really good at picking up different signals from pitchers in terms of stealing bases or with curveballs or sliders or fastballs, and we kind of had to communicate that verbally in the past. I think now being able to see that on TV, having a guy be able to pause on the TV with synergy with all of us here, all the hitters and base runners, everything here, to see that ourselves and have the guy point it out ourselves is going to help us a lot. As in the past, like I said, it was kind of a verbal thing before you got on first base. A guy would just say, hey, look for this, and you don't really know what he's talking about. So now being able to see it all together, I think, is a huge plus for us.
Yeah, and I think ultimately having the guys in a group to discuss the plan, as mentioned before, will really give us an advantage moving forward and give us that edge that we need, to ultimately get to where we want to go on a yearly basis. So we're super excited, and we're happy. We can't wait to get everybody packed in here and go over our first series.
All right, thanks, Coach. And wow, what do you think Eddie Pellegrini would have done with all that information, huh? Nothing. Tell us about Eddie. And, I knew Eddie for years and years, played for the Red Sox, hit a home run his first major league bat off of.
I don't know.
Sid Hudson of the Washington Senators. You go to the lightning round. What are your memories of Eddie?
Well, besides being tremendously warm and caring, I was really lucky to get to know him as a player. I didn't play for him, but he was still around the program. Loved his players, loved the game of baseball, loved talking about the game of baseball and his times with the Red Sox. And he meant so much to everybody that played for him. He meant so much to our program. And besides taking the team to the World Series 4 times, the other thing that Coach Pellegrini taught all of his players and taught all of us that came after was to make it better for the next guy. And so we still have this award that we give out every year at Baseball Night in honor of Coach Pellegrini. And it's to someone who has done and continues to do things above and beyond to help our program, who cares about our program. And this year, our recipient is Steve Buckley. Buck has been here for our program for years. He's a great friend of mine, somebody I care about.
I didn't know this. This is not anything.
This is a surprise to him. He's a great friend of mine. He's been a great friend of the program. And on top of that, he's a great warrior for ALS. He is someone who was by Pete's side and was on the freight train really, really early. And everything that Buck has done to the program and for our mission to strike out ALS is really important to all of us. So, Buck, we have a Pete Frates jersey for you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
As a small way.
No, that's awesome.
To say thank you.
I appreciate it. We'll do the elbow thing.
There we go.
And obviously I knew Eddie very well. I'd been to his house down in Weymouth, and to connect me with Eddie and Pete in one moment is very special to me, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Buck.
Thank you. Much more to come in this hour, including a conversation with another former Red Sox player, Baseball Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Plus, Mike will reveal which BC player will wear the prestigious number 8 uniform, and you'll learn about a new technologically advanced machine that offers resistance-based workouts. But up next, a few of the players take you on a tour that includes a look inside their day-to-day life around here at the Pete Frates Center.
This is our kind of mud room. We come in after practice and we can drop our helmets and bats off right here.
After you put your bats and helmets away, take your cleats off over here. Make sure you're not dirtying up the hallway and stuff like that. So, hey, what's up, Sammy?
How you guys doing, man? You guys are looking good. Looking really good.
Thanks. We're just giving a tour of the facility. So, you want to join us?
I'd love to. You want to go check out the equipment room?
Totally.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, what's up, Alden? We need a catcher's mask and 2 hats.
Hey, my name is Dean Remick.
I'm also known as Rim Dog. I'm the equipment manager for both baseball and softball. Just getting this room ready for the 2021 season. It's awesome to have an equipment room right on site with the fields, and it's going to make a lot better for convenience for both the players and myself. If anything happened, as you can see, we have a huge assortment over here of all the tools and everything we need as well for Evil Shield, as well as tools we need to fix helmets, whatever it may be. Just thank you guys all for all your support in making this equipment room possible.
This is our sports medicine room. If you got bumps or bruises or anything like that, come here to recover in the ice bath or hot tub back there. And Crusty's always here to help out any of us that need it. And then we have our weight room right here. Let's go check out what's going on in there.
And let's hope Baldwin has a quick recovery. As we all know, this year's event had to be a virtual one, but that didn't stop us from trying to connect everyone who cares about the BC baseball program. Earlier tonight, between 6 and 7 p.m., in lieu of a cocktail hour, we hosted Zoom calls to connect different alumni classes and groups. Reportedly, a fun time was had by all. And now, here's Mike with a special presentation.
Well, another one of our traditions that we do every year at baseball night is we give out the number 8. The number 8 is the biggest honor in our program, and it's in honor of Sonny Nakakas, two-time captain here, who passed away of cancer. And the person that wears number 8 we talk about as a living embodiment of all the characteristics that Sonny had as a player. He was a great leader. He was a tremendous teammate, tough, competitive, handled adversity. You know, he's a great model for us, for all of us in this program of who we want to be. So this year in our program, number 8 is going to go to Peter Burns, our junior catcher.
Receiving this award or jersey number is one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me in my baseball career. Everyone who's worn that jersey has been a great leader, a great captain, and someone who I've really looked up to, and I hope I can carry on that role of being a guy that someone can look up to and a great leader for the program.
Next up, our newly honored number 8, Peter Burns, was part of a demonstration of the new training machine called Proteus. With a single 15-minute session, this thing can not only analyze sports movements, identify imbalances, and draw performance comparisons, but it can also be used for rehabbing injuries. Here's Peter and Eric Kress from BC Sports Medicine Team to show us how it all works.
Proteus is a new technology which we're super excited to have. It allows us to measure a lot of different variables and metrics to help identify strengths and weaknesses of our student athletes. So the first thing that we're going to try to do with all of our athletes is to do a baseline test, and that comes pre-programmed, and there's a series of about 17 different exercises that the athlete runs through, and that gives you the basic put-out, which you see here. So this is a power breakdown. From here, you can go back and look at some additional, you can do how does your right side compare to your left side, both in isolated groups, upper extremity, lower extremity. You can look at, this is just one exercise, but the more you do it, the more it'll catalog your workouts. And you can see trends based on your range of motion, your power, your acceleration. So a lot of things that are important to performance, but also things that we know can link an athlete to injury. And we can modify those and just monitor and see how they impact the athlete throughout the course of the season.
Go ahead.
We're just excited to have it. Not many schools have this capability. I think we're one of like a handful of colleges that have it. It's mostly in private gyms, and this tool is not isolated just to baseball. You can use it for any athlete, but again, really fortunate to have it here, and the support from the Proteus staff has been great.
I'm excited to get a chance to be here again for BC Baseball Night. Can't be in person, but we do have a treat for you, as I am joined by the Hall of Famer, John Smoltz. Smoltzy, thank you so much for doing this. Excited to get a chance to chat a little bit of baseball, talk a little college baseball with you. I know that was not your wheelhouse, but I got some questions for you about it. But thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Baseball right around the corner. Can't wait for another year to get going, and always be surprised by somebody's outstanding performance and anticipation of who might take it all again this year.
Yeah, no doubt. So I alluded to it. You grew up a huge Michigan State fan, and were you signed to go play baseball in Michigan State? That's what your intention was when you eventually ended up getting drafted by the Tigers, right?
Yeah, I signed real early. I wanted to go to Michigan State. I was going to be their first ever full scholarship. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
The baseball field and the program was trying to go through kind of renovation project and trying to become relevant again. And I'm kind of an underdog by nature, and I grew up in Lansing, Michigan. And, of course, I wanted to compete against the Michigan Wolverines, who were loaded when I was going to go there with Barry Larkin. I mean, they were loaded. They had everybody. And so I was less than 12 hours from attending my first class, or at least, checking into my dorm. I was that close to going to college and participating there for, at that time, Tom Smith and the Spartans, but I signed it relative about 9 or 10 at night, Sunday night. I read it pretty much at the buzzer.
What was the growth like? And if you could be honest, I mean, you're a Hall of Famer, but was 18-year-old John Smoltz on a path for the Hall of Fame? And what was the growth like in those sort of early years?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was on a path for Hall of Fame, but I was on a path to quest, my dream. I mean, on a mission to do whatever level I had to go to learn to become the kind of pitcher that I always thought I could be. And college was not something that I was afraid of attending. I was actually going to try and play 2 sports, so I was excited about that opportunity. But then when I guess you could say when the draft choice came and the Tigers drafted me and I got close to the money that would be relevant to moving forward, I felt ready to go on my own. And I was a raw, just kind of self-taught pitcher that needed a lot of grooming, if you will, whether that was going to be in college or into the system of the Tigers. And I never dreamt, the path I would take would lead me eventually to the Atlanta Braves. So
yeah, I
was actually excited about college. I wanted to see if I could play 2 sports, and I was, all in for college until the Tigers came up with an offer close to first round money.
Well, Boston College has made pretty incredible strides under Mike Gambino. They have 3 top 50 prospects for this upcoming draft, expected to be a super talented team. And obviously the guy over my shoulder, Pete Frates, and the Pete Frates Center that everybody is just so excited about, a big part of the history. Pete, of course, who passed last December a year ago, from ALS and one of the founders of the Ice Bucket Challenge. So the Boston College baseball program, you talked about Michigan State trying to grow something back in the day, the BC baseball program. I mean, they got one game from the College World Series a few years back with Justin Dunn on the mound, but Coach Mike Gambino's done a really good job, and now they have the gorgeous new facility. So they're excited in Chestnut Hill.
Yeah, anytime you're trying to build something and become relevant and become the level that you are trying to achieve, I think it starts obviously with a system, and it starts with a belief. And, I think when coaches try to assemble the talent in an area, let's just say like Boston College or Michigan State, I consider up north, where they're limited access of outdoor, you've got to create a culture that becomes infectious with its players. And you start seeing teams that would compete in the World Series that you never would have seen before. I mean, Indiana State, I think, comes to mind when they had the pitching staff, and then Indiana, and then all these different northern schools now are leveling the field a little bit with the teams that, quote unquote, used to have a huge upside, with the South being able to get outdoors and play a little bit more. So it's exciting to see programs revitalize themselves and become where they want, try to get where they want to go.
Let me interrupt this for a second, because when I check in with you, I always, even though I don't play, but I need just an update on where is your golf game right now? Are you healthy? I mean, just give me the quick thumbnail sketch of like status.
Well, everybody has had to deal with adjustments into COVID. Well, I have not been able to treat my body the way I should have when you think about what it needs. I'm basically Humpty Dumpty put together all over again. So I'm relatively healthy considering I've done nothing but play golf. So my golf game is in an actual pretty good spot. I'm getting ready to play in a tournament at the Diamond Resorts. Try to go for a three-peat. If they're going to keep score and it's going to count and you get a trophy or you get money, then I want to be at the highest level of that. So I have some bragging rights until they can knock me off of winning the tournament. And I'm competing in a 4-round tournament. I've been playing a lot of golf. There's not a lot of other things to do other than play golf. And I have the greatest wife in the world that allows me to do that.
You just like competing.
Yes.
I mean, before – you're not in an advanced stage, but when you got to this age, I remember when you were still playing pickup hoops, you'd call me, and I would, hello? Your boy dropped 30 tonight.
That's right. I gave that up like I should have. I need 2 new hips. So I miss basketball. I love playing. I played till I was 51. And, now I value playing golf a little bit more. So I'm taking it easy on my body. But if it's ping pong, billiards, cards, I grew up in a family, and I guess that's where I got it from. My dad, we always played games and we always competed. And we were taught indirectly, always give your best. Why not? And that's really where that self-drive came from. And I always push my teammates, somebody I play with, to try to do that too. And, it subjects me to a little bit of ridicule, and I don't mind that. But before you know it, you're pushing your teammates to a place where they didn't even know they could go, and you're getting the best out of them.
Real quick on golf, and then I want to get to a fan question. You've been playing this offseason with a former teammate. Chipper Jones wasn't known as a guy during your playing days, as part of your golf grouping with Glavin and Maddox. But his game's gotten better, hasn't it?
It has. Chipper's going through a little transformation, if you will. We played yesterday. We drove 3 hours up, 3 hours back to Knoxville for a nice little match that we did not come back victorious. It was a long drive home. But he's since switched his putting. He's gone, he's a switch hitter in baseball. Very talented, obviously one of the best ever in the game. But now he's switched putting. So he's gone from right-handed putting to left-handed putting. This is a process. It's going to work. It's going to go through some bumpy times right now, but his stroke looks so much better. And, Chipper has progressed since he's retired, and we live 5 minutes from each other. And so we've gotten to play a lot of golf here in the last year. And he's a behemoth of a man, so he hits it forever. And he's starting to hone in a little bit on some of the finer things of golf.
He did reveal to me, by the way, I love this. We worked games together for ESPN this past year, and he revealed that all of his baseball cards were incorrect. They listed him at 6'4", 210, and he's actually 6'3", 225.
Yeah.
To which I responded, so you're shorter and fatter. Like that's what my card would have said under height and weight. Just shorter and fatter. Boom, Sciambi. That's it. All right, here we go. Okay, fan question from Anthony Tusa from Dallas, Texas. I'm 11 years old and want to play baseball in high school and maybe in college. What advice can you give me to reach my goal? Just something nice and simple, 11 years old.
Well, the biggest thing is I have always told people, no matter how old you are, obviously you want to stay as healthy as you can to play as long as you can. So that's the first thing. You want to stay as healthy as you can. It's not a year-round sport. More is not better. But I think every time a young child plays a game or goes out and practice, the one thing they take for granted is without purpose, you're never going to achieve greatness, right? So if you don't have a plan, if every throw doesn't have a purpose, if you're not practicing in a way that allows you to become better, and you just kind of just go out there and just kind of do the things you do, that's good for kind of neighborhood baseball. But to play high school baseball and beyond, every practice session has to have a purpose so that you can get better at something. And I think that's the biggest thing that kind of gets missed because we want to win. And I think youth baseball has gotten to a point where they want to win more than they want to develop. And the development is huge to allow you to play long term.
All right. I want to give you a question from a freshman on the BC baseball team, Pat Roach, pitching in the same rotation as Greg Maddox and Tom Glavin. How did you manage the dynamic of having 3 superstar caliber pitchers? And did you have a friendly competition with each other without sacrificing the goals of the team and putting too much pressure on each other?
Yeah, we did. The first thing is we all came together. Greg was a little more established than Tommy, and then Tommy was more established than me. So I don't think we looked at it as greatness in the moment. It was a greatness as time went on, and we all took pride in what we did. And we had a friendly competition without really even talking about it, which was unique. If you had a strong or big ego, you were going to be humiliated. So we learned real easy that each game had an opportunity in and of itself. But I think the internal competition was, how do we one-up each other? And if we keep one-upping each other, that's good for the team. And nobody cared if they were the quote-unquote ace. So if somebody threw gave up 2 runs and went 8 innings, is able to go give up 1 run in 8 innings. Or if somebody threw a shutout in 5 hits, you want to throw a shutout in 4 hits. So those things drove us each and every day. But I think if your personalities are of the mindset that you don't mind being pushed and that driving each other to, again, like I said earlier, to greatness will only help yourself.
I want to ask you a question. This just popped into my head. You and I met in 1997. I was a broadcaster for the then Florida Marlins. One of the things that always stood out to me about the Braves, as a broadcaster, I did the pregame show. So we met because I'd stick a tape recorder in front of you guys and ask you for a pregame interview. The Atlanta Braves, it was different than the other teams where I'd have to hunt down interview guests. If I went to John Smoltz, Chipper Jones, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, I'd say, John, can I do an interview? You'd look at the clock. You'd say, we're hitting at this time. Meet me in the dugout at this time. And you'd be there, and we'd do the interview. And it was the same for all of you guys. There was just – it was as easy as you guys were stars, and you all said, okay, at this time, be there at this time, and I can give you 10 minutes. Where'd that come from?
I think the culture that Bobby created as a manager, he was pretty simple. We didn't have a lot of bad eggs in our locker room, and that was due to him. And we didn't have a lot of rules, but we understood the purpose of what we were trying to do. And if we were all accountable and nobody was better than the other, then it was a smoother ride. And if anybody came in and tried to approach it that way, they didn't last very long. So we had one of those, people talk about sports cultures as being country clubs. Those are never good when you hear a country club type atmosphere. We didn't have a country club atmosphere. We just had a really easy atmosphere because our manager laid out simple rules. So when it came to media training that we all went through or dealt with, we understood more than ever, being on TBS is one thing, but being available and doing your job so that somebody else doesn't have to do your job for you. In other words, if I had a bad game and I wasn't accountable afterwards, that means Glavine, Maddux, or somebody else has to be accountable for my bad game. That didn't fly very often in our locker room.
Yeah, understood. Let's talk about the game today. The Dodgers are world champs. What a weird year it was to be doing games in ballparks with no fans, some fans. But I want to ask you specific to the Dodgers. I have an opinion, so I'll lead the witness a little bit. But a 60-game season, I don't know that team gets enough credit. I think that's one of the better teams we've seen over the course of the last 10, 15 years or so. How good were the Dodgers?
Yeah, they had the most pressure in the world on them. So that being said, having a gorilla on your back trying to play baseball in a condensed season was definitely it was definitely there. I thought they were the most complete team in baseball. I think there's times that they sometimes complicate the formula because they have so many weapons and so many things to do that they try so many things that it can almost backfire, and it almost did against the Braves. I think any team that wins a championship can look in a previous year and see a series or two that would have gone the other way that they could have lost, but the best teams find a way to win, and then they don't look back. Like, once they beat the Braves, I don't think anybody felt that they were going to lose the next series no matter who they played. So I think what Dave Roberts was able to do in a narrative in a season that was so strange and so many hurdles that had to be done, I think he kept them together. And I said from the beginning, before the year started, the team that had the greatest and tightest group of understanding that this is going to be a chaotic year is going to come out on top. And they certainly checked every box when you talk about how they went from the beginning to the end, dominated, had one little hiccup against the Braves, but then didn't look back, won the next 2 games.
How would you feel if, when this is over, we did, just to raise a little more money for the BC baseball program, we did another hour where all we do is argue?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
Because we've had some good ones.
That'd be great. I think I've grown. You've grown. I've probably grown more than you've grown.
I've grown.
Yeah, well, I've come closer to the maturity level that you always had, and I think it took a while. It took a while, and I'm there.
I know. A couple other things as far as your time. You played for the Braves, but also short stints with the Cardinals and with the Red Sox. What do you remember about your time in Boston?
Well, two iconic organizations that I was really glad that I got a chance to be part of. I was horrible for the Red Sox. If I could go back and have a mulligan, people ask me, what would I do differently? I would have listened to myself and been disciplined and stubborn to say, I got this. I know how to get ready. I know how to train. I'm going to be available. Come back from major shoulder surgery. I was 41 years old. If I was 31 or even 25, I would have adhered to the protocol that they were asking me. But that was on me. They took a risk on me, so I basically did what they asked me to do from a training staff, and it really backfired. And that I wish for the culture of Boston Red Sox fans, which are unbelievable.
Yeah.
The way they treated me like I was some kind of royalty and that I was going to come in and, keep doing what I had done the previous 19, 20 years. That's what I miss most about being able to perform at the level I wanted to in Boston. So that I wish I had a do-over. Now, on the flip side, after getting released, and rightfully so, the St. Louis Cardinals was an incredible organization from a family standpoint, closest thing I could say to the Atlanta Braves, but they made me truly feel like I had been there 18 years. Both organizations still to this point invite me to things that I go, thank you, I'm honored, but it's more for the guys that have been there longer. To end my career in St. Louis was an absolute dream come true because I got back on the field. I got back into the postseason. I proved to myself I was healthy enough, good enough to pitch, even if I wanted to the next year. And I was completely content with my career. People who knew me said, there's no way he can walk away. And the reason I could walk away, knowing that I overcame major shoulder surgery, is I worked hard, got back on the field, and left on my own terms. And that, to an athlete, I never used to understand before until you go through it. Why guys keep trying to come back. Why certain people go, oh, just hang it up. Just give it up, Smoltz. I had this one guy after that year, as I was playing golf in Tampa. My buddy lets me know this every single time. He goes, oh, man, John Smoltz, you're one of my favorite players of all time. Are you still playing? That's when I knew it was time to go to the next endeavor of my life.
Last two, real quick. What do you remember about getting the call from the Hall of Fame? What do you remember about the day being up on stage?
Well, the call from the Hall of Fame was something I put in my mind that I wasn't expecting. And I know a lot of people say in hindsight, like, you had to know. I really didn't. And I was not determined or defined by that call that day. To be quite honest, and you'll know this about me, I was playing in a men's league basketball game at 6 o'clock if I didn't get the call. If I got the call, I was going to pack really quick and have to go on an airplane. So I was prepared for either way. It was a long day. And I literally, almost made the mistake by not answering my home phone because nobody really had my home phone number that I thought of. And I ended up seeing where the area code was, and I was very intrigued and answered the phone. I was calm when I got the news. My wife was sitting there almost bouncing up and down. I didn't say anything. I said, yes, sir, thank you. And I hung up. And she said, who was that? I'm like, in the Hall of Fame. And it just didn't hit me until the process played out because you know me and my teammates know me that I literally did not play for the Hall of Fame. I did things to try and win championships. I would go back and do it all over again the same way. But the byproduct of my career and the uniqueness of my career led me to this point. And I still, every time I go there, feel like a little child in a room of people that are much bigger than me. And it's always the way I've approached it. And I never, ever wanted to get to the point where, the game I was bigger than the game. So from that standpoint, it was really cool.
Buddy, thank you so much for doing this. The Boston College baseball community, super grateful. I am grateful for your friendship, and you're a good man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you, and good luck to Boston College. I'll be keeping an eye out to see how it progresses. Hopefully we get back to normal and everyone can pursue their dreams without these major sacrifices that everybody have had, and I wish them the best of luck this year.
Thanks, John.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Boog, and thank you, John Smoltz, for being a part of Baseball Night in Boston 2021. Speaking of 2021, that's a segue.
Well done.
What are we looking at for the Eagles this coming season?
Yeah, this is it's a season we're excited about. You know, it's a veteran club, partly because of the COVID season. So you've got a group of fifth-year seniors back that have played a ton in their career. Guys like Dante Baldelli and Brian Dempsey and Jack Cunningham, Joey Walsh on the mound, Marzoni. We have a really nice veteran presence and some really exciting guys to watch. The Sal Frelick, Cody Morissette, Mason Pelio, guys that people are going to have fun
Strauch is
watching.
from Lexington.
Frelick's from Lexington,
Same
yeah.
as Shaw. He
Exactly.
was a big star here a few years back.
Yeah, Lexington High School.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a group that we're excited about seeing on the field this year, and I think it's going to be a really fun draft day for them as well.
You had mentioned off air that you are one of the few schools in the country with 3 players ranked in the top 50 prospects in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, so those 3 guys right now, like I said, like you just said, we're one of 2 schools in the country with 3 of the top 50. And the awesome thing about those guys is, and they all have a really good chance of being selected in the first round and to be day 1 drafts. But if you talk to any one of those 3 or the entire roster that we have right now, all these guys are going to talk about is they want to win, they want to go to Omaha. They don't want to talk about the draft. They don't want to talk about anything else other than they're here. And the fifth-year seniors, too, these are guys that chose to come back. Right? They came back because they all believe we have a chance to go to Omaha this year, and that's where our focus is.
It's hard to put into words what the College World Series means unless you've physically been there to experience it. So I can understand that these players would aspire to that. That would be a goal coming in every season. Does this, what we're sitting in, help bring that to another level?
It absolutely does. It does for this team, the amount of time and energy and effort that they can spend developing in this building. And a group, you know, this is a program that has been built on player development. This building is an embodiment of that. You know, everything that when we started designing this building, and I'm so grateful for Father Leahy and Martin Jarman at the time, and now Pat Kraft, who believed in the vision, but everything about this building was built on player development. That's what we cared about, number one. So specifically for this team, but then also for the long-term growth of our program and our freshmen that are coming in and spending their freshman year in this building and then their entire career in this building. You know, we've shown in the past that we can help players develop and become first rounders, get to the big leagues. 3 guys in the big leagues last year, you know, and now it's just going to continue to grow, and that's what we're all really excited about.
Would I call this an offensive team, a defensive team? Or, if you were a sports writer writing a preview of Boston College, what kind of team are we going to see this year?
I think you're going to see a balanced team. I think it's got a chance to be a tremendous.
Such a coach thing.
But here's the thing. I think it's got a chance to be a top 10 offense. I think we've got a weekend rotation. Mason Pelio can match up with anybody in the country. Emmett Sheehan is going to have a chance. He's got electric stuff. I think we have a weekend rotation that can legitimately match up. But I think one of the things you're going to see most, and I think the things that people will love and gravitate towards this team is this is a group of guys that love each other and that love playing baseball. And all they've said since March of last year, all we talk about, we had a team meeting today, you know, the COVID protocols and everything they have to do can be sometimes, everybody understands what COVID can be rough on a lot of people, but all these guys say is, we don't care, we just want to play baseball.
All right, so that's a look at the team that we're going to see in 2021. Let's take a look at the crown jewel of the Pete Frates Center, which is the locker room downstairs. Dante Baldelli is a 5th-year senior.
Yes.
And
Peter Burns
is a junior from Reading, Massachusetts, who I'm told caught Roger Clemens in a game once, but we'll talk about that later. They're going to give us a tour of the locker room. Check this out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Peter Burns. I'm a junior on the Boston College baseball team.
And I'm Dante Baldelli, and I'm a senior on the team.
And right now, we'd like to take you guys through to what we think is the coolest part about this new facility. Being on a team with 43 guys and not really finding a lot of space to all be together at one spot. In the locker room, we really have the opportunity to all be together and talk to one another and build a lot of team camaraderie. And Dante?
Yeah, being here for the last 5 years, it's a little bit different than when I originally started. We used to play on Shea Field and hit underneath the garage ramp. We also were in the Conti Farm locker room the last 4 years, so we're very happy and blessed to be in this new Frates Center.
And right now, we're going to have one of our teammates, Sal Frelick, take you guys through what the lockers look like.
What's up, guys? My name's Sal, junior on the baseball team. Here to show you guys our new lockers. Cool features up here. We got our jersey holders. I'll take this down and show you some more. We got our hangers in here, personal locks, cleat racks, gloves, hats. This actually folds down too, opens up, gives us a lot more space. including that. We got one down here. Again, opens up, a lot more space. Same thing up top, you can put bags up here. My favorite thing is our bat holders right here. We got 2 bat holders for both of your bats.
We're now in the Father Murphy Players Lounge. It's a great spot for us to hang out before and after games and practices. We also are able to fuel up with any drinks or snacks. It's also a great spot for us to do any homework when needed.
Yeah, and being a catcher, going over scouting reports is a big part of our game, and having a space where we can get together with the pitchers and catchers to do that is very beneficial.
Heard a lot of talk about schoolwork in here.
I know you're not doing any homework.
But in all seriousness, we want to thank you guys for all the donations and coming through this process with us. Now we're going to throw it over to Sciambi.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. That was pretty well done. Pretty well done. How about that locker room? What an incredible space. I just want to thank all of you for being here with us tonight. Also, huge shout out, John Smoltz. Smoltzy, thanks for doing that. And we close out this event strong, and make sure you check your messages for the link to the site where you can make an additional donation to the program and help them reach their goals this season. If you didn't get the link in a text message, you can also find it on the Baseball Night website at bceagles.com/baseball night. Thanks to all of you in advance for anything you're able to contribute. Be well, stay safe.
Many thanks to Boog Sciambi for his long-standing support of the baseball program. As you know, a building like this and a strong baseball program like this cannot be built without the incredible support of all of you.
Nancy and John Frates standing here in the remarkable Pete Frates batting cage in the locker room of Bird Ball Baseball. We just want to thank everybody who supported not only this program, our mission to strike out ALS, but everyone who contributed through Baseball Night to make this a reality.
Yeah, so from our family and our BC family and our Bird Ball family, we thank you so much for your continued support of this remarkable Bird Ball program. Thank you.
Thoughts right now? Yeah, it was awesome having the Frates family here. I want to quickly say thank you to Courtney and Alyssa from our development office for everything they've done. Russ and the whole video crew, all the work that they did to put this thing together. And I want to say thank you to all of our donors. And Buck, thank you. It's always such a special night having you here. And Boog and John Smoltz, thank you for your time and for everything that you did to make this such a special night. It's such an important night for our program, besides the emotional part tonight of getting to show off this building. But to keep this program running and functioning at the level that we all want it to be, and to help us get to Omaha, which is the goal. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, that hate, the grind, the sweat, the blood, the time, my motivation. I work too hard, too long, and not be in the conversation. My team been up, way up, ain't nothing less than domination. I got the game to say with lock and key and combination.
Fly ball into right off the bat of Morissette. And he leaps at the fence and got it! And that ball is out of here.